Hey there, Jeff Manchester, Manchester Music. Welcome. It's been 7 years since FabFilter released their highly acclaimed Pro Q3 EQ plugin, a tool that earned praise from both amateurs and professionals alike. Pro Q3 forced other companies making parametric EQ plugins to completely rethink their user interface and overall user experience. However, this video is not going to be a deep dive or a kind of what's new and improved Pro Q4 kind of thing. You can watch one of the thousands of those videos that are coming and are going to cover that. Instead, what I want to do is focus on what's not included in Pro Q4 and what that omission tells us about the current state of music technology. So just for some context, Pro Q3 came out in 2018. When more than half of a decade passes and a plugin company has a product as beloved as Pro Q, you can bet that they're going to carefully consider how to make the next generation of that product as competitive and forward-thinking and future-proofed as possible. After all, it's unlikely to change significantly for another 5 years or even more. Now, if you've been following the audio plugin space over the last decade, you'll know that FabFilter's Pro Q4, when you look into it, really doesn't break the mold in terms of new features compared to the competition, aside from maybe the EQ sketch feature and some copy and paste workflow improvements, which are interesting, but perhaps not groundbreaking. Let's just take a quick second to look at where they borrowed from by reviewing the updates in Pro Q4. Okay, so advanced spectral dynamics processing. Well, Soothe, Gullfoss, and Neutron Sculptor have all had these features for some time. And while they're not integrated alongside the static bands like Pro Q4 does, it's not anything net new. So what about instance list to view and control other Pro Q4 instances in your session? Again, this isn't totally new. This feature is reminiscent, I think, of Neutron's masking meter, which was introduced, I think, back in 2016. Claro from Sonox and to some extent Sonable's Smart EQ have also improved on the concept of stacking and visualizing multiple EQs that can be manipulated at a glance without having to navigate to each track and manually adjust its EQ. Let's keep going. So how about the gentle and warm character modes? Well, a lot of EQs have had similar features, including Neutron with its soft saturation mode, introduced I think in Neutron 2, albeit that feature was a little tough to discover and still is. Okay, so how about pasting, copying EQ bands or presets? I mean, that's nice, but in my opinion, again, it's not groundbreaking. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Pro Q4 isn't good or doesn't offer anything new to the Pro Q community. It does. But what it seems they've done is similar to Apple's unveiling of the iPod. So you analyze the competition, you pick and choose what you like and don't like in the market, and then you package everything you've been inspired by into something sleek and polished and so user-friendly that you're making moves at the speed of thought. That seems to be what Pro Q4 has done. But to me, there's something glaringly missing from Pro Q4, something that's taken the industry by storm over the past year or so, and something FabFilter has decided to say, nah, we'll pass. Have you figured out what it is yet? It's AI. For whatever reason, FabFilter shipped Pro Q4 without any assistant or, no machine learning algorithms, no intelligent features, no AI-driven this or that. And to me, that's really interesting. And no, I don't consider, that spectrum grab thing to be intelligent. That's just, I think, good old-fashioned DSP, and it's been in there a while. I think it's really strange that there's no new AI features in this tool. And after all, it's 2024. AI is integrated into so many aspects of daily life. Just think personal assistants, so Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, helping you with tasks and controlling smart devices in your home. Speaking of, you've got smart homes, so AI-powered thermostats and lighting and security systems. Even transportation, AI aids navigation. You have autonomous car features and also ride-sharing apps. It's even in healthcare, so AI helps with diagnostics and wearables and virtual health assistants. And it's not like AI is brand new and FabFilter just didn't have time to integrate the tech into their existing tech stack. ChatGPT wasn't the first AI technology hard-coded into everyday devices. Years ago, Isotope was one of the first to launch that whole smart plug-in neutron assistant stuff, followed by some of the changes to RX machine learning technology, and then later Ozone and Nectar got their own assistants, and companies around this time like Sonable also jumped in with their smart tools. And now AI is even built into Logic's mastering assistant and some of the stem splitting stuff in FL Studio, yet none of this stuff is present in Pro Q4, the EQ plugin that probably won't change again for at least another 5 to 7 years. And here's why this is so interesting to me. If the most advanced and beloved EQ out there gets a major refresh, widely considered future-proofed for the next half decade, and doesn't include any AI tools, what does that say about where FabFilter thinks AI and music tech is headed in general? Does this mean that they're hearing from customers that AI fatigue is starting to set in? Or do they view it as a gimmick or a fad that won't last much longer? Or maybe I'm reading way too much into this and FabFilter is positioning Pro Q4 as a pro tool where, pros don't want something that does their job for them. Though honestly, I've never really bought that argument. Pros, I think they want to save time as much as anybody else does. So what is going on here? Why wouldn't Pro Q4 include some kind of intelligent processing? And what does that omission tell us about where we're headed overall? And just for context, Waves just released their Waves IDX Intelligent Dynamics tool, which they describe as a smart frequency-dependent compressor that optimizes your track's energy for greater punch and focus. Instantly vitalize your mix with just one main knob. And if you know your history, the Holiday Waves plugin is always going to have a bigger, more expensive version coming pretty soon. So I think the AI plugin train is still very much chugging along in our space. Now, obviously I'm speculating, but it would appear, at least for now, that one of the most technologically sophisticated music tech companies is going to sit out the AI revolution as far as their flagship EQ is concerned. FabFilter is sticking a big, bold, zero AI included sticker on the Pro Q4 box. And this is weird, because at the end of the day, I think a company needs to make things that people want. And I would have thought that people wanted AI integrated more into their music tech, but maybe that's not true. If you think about it, a lot of musicians might not be that interested in AI tools because they really value the creative control and personal touch that comes with making decisions themselves. For many among us, music is all about intuition and emotion and not relying on a machine to do the work. Plus, with AI, it's often a black box. You don't always know how it's making decisions, which can be frustrating if you like to understand the process behind what you're doing. There's also, I think, the fear of becoming too dependent on AI, losing that originality and just following what the tool suggests rather than coming up with something special and unique yourself. On top of that, AI is not perfect. Sometimes it just doesn't get it right. And a lot of musicians might be skeptical about its real value. Then there's just the overload of tech. With so many tools out there, adding one more might just feel like more noise. Plus, economically and within a company, AI can be really expensive to research and then integrate elegantly. And maybe not everyone sees that there's a good return on that investment, and maybe FabFilter just didn't. Now, whatever the reason FabFilter didn't include AI in their latest release, to me it just highlights a really interesting moment in the AI music tech arms race. Maybe we'll start to see a bit of a slowdown in the push for AI in music tools overall. I mean, maybe not. Either way, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens next, because one thing is for sure. If the Pro Q4 is anything like the Pro Q3, Everyone will be watching FabFilter closely and trying to copy what they're doing with this release, which could mean a shift away from the heavy push for AI to be shoehorned into audio mixing and mastering tools. But what do you think? I want to know. Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.